Very nice conversation. Thank you. Virgin, you're awesome.
Oh, thank you. You too. I like your purpose.
We're so much connected.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Let's go around who's here. We've got still some cameras on. So some people we caught up earlier with and some we didn't. Adina, you're actually on the top left of my screen. How was that session for you?
Excellent. Modestly, I can say that I have a lot of knowledge. So I didn't gain a lot of knowledge because in my own right, I've been doing this for like 5 years and going to every conference on the planet. So the knowledge is there. What was interesting is the various angles, particularly the optimistic ones, because I'm a psychologist amongst other things, and I agree with various people that human nature remains immutable, and it has the full range from abject to sublime. And unfortunately, you know, the dark, as we call it in psychology, the dark side of human nature is extremely powerful. And
isn't it?
With biological evolution being so slow, it's not going to change any day soon. So the problem is that, like with everything, the danger is not in the technology. It's never been. The danger has been being in the human hands, and how does that pan out? Also, on a broader discussion, unfortunately, I keep thinking that the horse has bolted. And I listened to Virginie's, optimistic view, and trust me, every single time on every single application, I go and turn off every single of the options. Like I spend hours just undermining, sabotaging the data collection and the automation of basically surveillance. But it's too late. So yes, I believe, like other people, that the world is in the hands of the big five corporations. Governments are quite, helpless, apart from the governments that cause a bit of trouble here and there. And you have that tandem, which is a bit toxic. And so I honestly, my little intervention that I turn everything off and I check the contracts and I don't sign and I don't say yes to everything, how much difference that makes to the power of the trillionaires of this world, where now the latest thing is not how much money, whose rocket is the biggest, right? Have you noticed the rocket thing?
All shaped like dicks, you mean?
Yeah, well, it used to be, the millions in the bank, and now is, and the Porsche and the cars, and now is the rockets and so on. So I think, I don't know how to turn this tanker around, and I shall stop now because I've got so many thoughts. As I said, I've been writing books on this, and I don't know. Sorry, you asked for my opinion, and it went on for a while, but apologies.
You sparked another 3-hour debate here, Adina. But
I know.
Luckily, I had a smoothie before the event. I didn't do that in the past. It was a big mistake. I was on the floor by the end of it. I'm happy to go around the room, but if anybody's got a dash soon and wants to give me a wave in terms of just something, reflections maybe they'd like to add, I can see you all on the screen, or if you're on microphone, you can just speak up.
Just would like to thank you and say that I have to go right now. So thank you very much. It was my pleasure. Thank you, everybody.
Send us more videos.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Armando. It's a pleasure.
Jane, your camera's on with your Open University branding on it.
Yeah. That's my own picture, and I'm wearing my apron as well. My
I thought it was an apron.
I'm cooking dinner. What could I say? Well, not all engineers are bad. I remember a long time ago making a check reading system when I was at Bell Labs, and I remember thinking, I'm going to go for coffee. I wonder if I could make it every time I signed, it paid me $1 million. And when I came back from coffee, I was like, no, that wouldn't be a good idea. So anyway, some of us do think a little bit.
Thank you.
I don't know. Okay, I've got to go serve dinner.
Oh, enjoy.
Enjoy.
Alexandra, what are your reflections on today?
Hi everyone, and thank you, Richard. Well, it was a wild ride indeed. We had a lot of topics and we have a lot of things that we need to think more about, because the insights that I want to point out from today's both live and forum is that AI is a tool, and it's up to humans how we'd like to use it for purpose or for power. Because historically we have seen that when some tools are used for power only, it can lead us to not so good scenarios, may I say. However, if we deep dive into our heart, into our soul, and see what's really there, and how we can work for humanity instead of against humanity, then we can find how we can use those tools that we are presented, that we have developed over time, to make the most of it, to make the most of our evolution, revolution. And I always believe in purity of hearts and souls in people all around the world. And it's not technology. We shouldn't blame on technology. It's something like, I'll blame my parents from this and that, I'll blame my friends for this and that. No, we should take our own responsibility. We are our own protectors, and the protection comes from the inside. Once we learn how to use our skill sets, adapt it to our mindsets, and use it for good in our lives, it will reflect on everyone's lives, because then people around us will start using, for example, technology in the right way, we'll start learning more, we'll start doing more purposeful things instead of chasing power, titles, or something that's just material. So the main insight from today's session is definitely non-material over material and purpose over power. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you know, I'd love to read a weekly blog along those kind of lines. Could you recommend one to me, Alexandra, do you think?
Yes, of course.
What about one that you write?
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
Smart way to give an idea.
So I've just put Alexandra's MKAI blog, weekly blog, in the chat there. It's wonderful.
Absolutely.
You see what a beautiful mind she is.
Thank you. And we have more beautiful minds in our community, and we love to quote them. For example, like Anna had an amazing quote lately, so thank you, Anna. And I would surely like to share some vlogs with you. In the meantime, I would just like to make a quick reflection, because we have a lot of topics, as we have mentioned, and as Richard mentioned, we have a lot of topics going on in the community. So we create a weekly digest in order to collect the most important ones and reflect on them, so that they don't get lost in time and space. If you'd like to learn more about what are the discussions in the MKAI community, you can read them in weekly blogs. So I'm more than happy to share the community blog with you, and also to share the wonderful thoughts that are occurring in our community and that are driving us forward, that are making this possible. So thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And Henry's just signing off. He may have gone already, but thank you so much for joining us and everything you do, Henry. It's wonderful. Somebody give me a wave. Who's got some reflections? Some beautiful people on this call I'd love to hear from. It's at least 3 who haven't shared with us. Anna, you've unmuted.
Richard, I'll give you a quick wave.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll come to Anna in a second then, if that's okay.
It's just, I mean, one point for me, I know some of you have heard me kind of banging on about this before, but I'm getting closer to the rather hopeless task of trying to persuade everyone we should call this field at the moment digital intelligence. And I kind of put in the chat so many other fields, and actually in terms of legal university research, there is literally billions going into biological intelligence, self-healing plastics being one example, all kinds of uses of biology to create life forms, to create brains that think out of biology and so on. And I think that field deserves our attention increasingly, and not just the notion that AI is developing out of the pocket calculator and coding and binary language, which I think is going to become a bit of a blind alley. And I think David said in the chat at one point that, you know, quantum computing, certainly in its form in the next 20, 30 years, could enhance a lot of what we're trying to do. But I'm not quite sure if this metaphor of AI in the coding world is going to work for very long, technically at least. I think it's a convenient term, but I think we ought to perhaps look at other forms of, I'm calling it non-electrical AI.
What does that mean?
I say biology. There's all kinds of stuff that's going on in medical labs. We're learning, even as we create vaccines and stuff, about the inherent intelligence of cells, of the way they interact, systems, and so on. And we, you know, and viruses are showing signs of kind of non-life-based intelligence. And you know, there are people who are looking into how we can use viral behavior in viruses to do all kinds of really interesting things. And potentially cure, but potentially moving into materials management, materials innovation, and then that's not taking into account what's possible in physics. And you know, there's currently slightly dubious work in terms of mainstream science of people like Rupert Sheldrake, morphogenic fields, the mind-brain kind of thing. Then we can look at stuff like magnetism, which goes right back to steampunk. But there are just some really interesting areas that are attracting funding that sit alongside AI that you could put under a banner called artificial intelligence. So perhaps we ought to look there a bit more.
Yes, I see David's got his hand up. Anna, you were going to say something, so it'd be rude of me not to. I'm sure David can hold that thought.
Increasing my mind boggling here.
Paul will do that, careful.
Yeah, you know, but you know, it's it actually, Paul's comment just triggered you know, the idea of you know, animism, you know, that everything on earth has life. Yes. Everything on earth has intelligence. We just humans ignore it because you know, we have this conqueror mentality. But if we really become humble, and then we can learn from nature, and you know, really learn to, as Haraldo was saying, you know, kind of steer. We have created this baby, so how are we going to raise it? I think is the question. How are we going to educate it? What are the limits that we're going to set? What are those, you know, what are those ethical, moral lessons that we're going to give it? You know, it's born. You know, okay, it cannot be undone. You know, you just have to. Our job now is to find ways to steer it in the right direction. And I think that, you know, all of the things that Paul is talking, all of the things that everyone has been talking, you know, are it's how can we not get lost and you know, in the leaves for the forest, but remain constant in terms of what we can do to guide each other. And you know, the ultimate guide for humanity is love. So I have this little you know, if we think of this kind of intelligences, whether from the past or the future, as a photon, I have this little thing that I wrote yesterday. If photons that emit light years ago from countless stars travel immense distances, past countless of obstacles to reach our eyes, what can our gaze achieve when we connect with one another with love and compassion?
It's beautiful. David.
It's hard to follow that, but I will try. I want to build on what the last few speakers have said want to build on what Paul was pointing out is there's a broader angle in which we need to understand AI. The coding and the statistics are important, but there are multiple other angles too, including other aspects of technology, including what's sometimes called nanotechnology. But that doesn't just mean traditional biology. It means a different way of looking at what could be possible with using smart technology at the small biological level. I want to recommend a book by an Oxford nanotechnology professor. She is called Sonia Cantera. It's called Nano Comes to Life. And she's hard-headed, but she's very open to broad different perspectives, including what she might call female perspectives, including looking at not just hard genetics, but at a range of different levels. She says we need to look at the range of different levels of interactions. So I think to get the best out of AI, we need to be more broad-minded. Yes, we need to think about human design interactions and political systems, as I was saying earlier, but the discussion here has reminded me that we have to consider the range of different scientific insights, not just mechanistic ones, not just genetic programming ones, but different things in the fields of nanotechnology, broadly biotech, and also cognitive technologies. And some of the best insights are going to come as we do understand the human brain more. And I think we are actually learning a lot more. The meditators of old taught us some things, and then when we couple that with insights from modern technology, it can help us to see the power and potential and risks and benefits of AI in a new light. So I'm, in a sense, asking for an even broader discussion. The coding's not going to disappear. There still will be algorithms in there, but there'll be algorithms and coding and statistics that are informed in new ways. And they maybe won't even be the most important part of AI. They'll still be important, but they'll be sitting alongside these broader insights.
There's some very poetic people that contribute to these conversations. And one of them's, Alexandra, you've got your hand up, but one of them also has the hand up, who I know is also quite poetic, Sharu.
Just the applause, sorry. The applause for David.
Oh, I thought, yeah, all right. Yeah, hands, different hands, yeah. But Harold, I'll come to you in just a second. Not that I need to moderate this particularly, but just keep house. Sharu, did you want to say something?
Yes, thank you. I had just a couple of requests from this group. Just an amazing group. I have loved every session that I have been able to attend. Nice. Two things. Is it possible to have a focused session like you had today, focused on climate and AI? And let's see the best minds that this whole group can muster to find, to kind of share what is happening and can happen to attack this, very cogent and front and center existential situation that we are all facing, that many agencies, like Virginia and everybody else have already taken a stab at, but to have it come together in this very cogent forum. And the second one is a suggestion for another forum, is the blind spots, or what are, and I think there was some reference with Geraldo and a few others, but is there a possibility to have that kind of be the focus session? So those are my two kind requests.
I'll let one of the team pick that up in terms of what we're doing in the environment. Vibha?
Yeah, hi, Charu. Thank you for your thoughts, and thank you for taking out the time to explain this. So we do actually, we have a focused chat actually. So in MKAI we have a general chat, and then for people who are interested in specific areas, we actually have a focused group on Telegram, which is also now moved to Slack for certain parts of the project. It's called AI in Green Economy, Biodiversity, GIS, and Sustainability. And we have about 30 people within the community who are moving forward in that direction, very passionate about climate change and a lot of things that falls within this area. So it would be good if I can share the link for the. So the way to do this is you can share the Telegram link, and then from there we can, once you join our community, we can share the link for that group if that interests you. That there joining that group would directly take you to people within MKI who are already thinking on it and are seeking to do something about it. Hope that answers a part of your question at least.
And I'll just add to that we have run many sessions. We've run one on greener AI before Christmas, I think. Over the last quarter previous, we did 3 sessions on Earth observations, data, sustainable cities, and smart energy, all with a technical focus as well. This is a big subject, obviously. We could have a more sort of philosophical session on it potentially around the mindset. Like, we've got to, if we're going to keep growing our populations and keep chucking more plastic in the oceans, then it makes it hard for any technology to do anything really if we continue to destruct and destroy. Should we have a chat, Charu, you and I, and see what we might do?
Love that. Absolutely read my mind.
Well, buzz me then and we'll have a conversation. Always keen. And we were just talking earlier, we want to sponsor 3 environmental sustainability and AI companies and put our weight of social media and the 5,000 people we have on the marketing list and the network that we have access to and the data scientists that we have access to. We may not have a big pot of cash right now. Maybe we will one day, but not just now. But there's a lot we could do. And I think we need to get ourselves organized to link up with some organizations that share our values and share our spirit, I think. Harold, you dropped something in the chat. Did you want to talk about it as well?
Yeah, thank you, Richard.
Great to see you.
Yeah, always a pleasure. I'm a member of Downtown Crenshaw. It's a community organization in Los Angeles, California that's trying to purchase a mall. And they want to avoid gentrification. And I have an interest in providing an AI research park for the community in order to provide a sustainable living standard. And I looking for the group to find out what are some techniques and methodologies that we could apply to send a proposal to the LA City Council for them to consider re-awarding the bid from a private contractor to a community organization with a skill set towards AI that will provide a multiple generational impact, not just to the community, but in terms of sustaining a new development. So that is my question. Thank you.
Just to pick up on that, it may or may not touch this, but Milton Keynes University comes online in a year or so, big STEM university. They've asked us to write a white paper with them around these kind of areas, the sustainable smart city, the skills that are needed for the smart city, but they understand in the context of that around open data and sharing and these kind of ethical aspects as well. So they're ready to do that. So if that's an area that we could collaborate on and put a proposal over to them, they've already said yes to doing that. And the other thing is that we're trying to do this with Milton Keynes Council as well. And I've put forward that I want to produce a report. They're paid for a report because Milton Keynes has announced it wants to be the greenest city in the world. I mean, it's put that in the press. 250,000 people, grown to 500,000, one of the highest areas of immigration and technology in the country. Obviously, London's an anomaly, we know that. And they've asked for more details about on what we would do with that. But I think every city needs an AI for sustainability handbook, playbook, plan. And we'd love to be leaders in that area.
Well, any point of contacts would be grateful. And I would just parlay that over to the group as a whole. And hopefully that would be able to get the city council to reverse the decision to award it to an oligarch. I don't know if you visited the hyperlink that I sent, but that's what the Deutsche Bank has done, is they awarded the bid to a Russian oligarch.
Right. Okay. Yeah, it's an uphill battle, isn't it? Everywhere around the world. But
Why am I not surprised? This is what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what's going on. It's very difficult to fight this kind of power and presence in the economy.
it's like two worlds, isn't it?
Completely.
Just
completely.
all these people are just driven by power and control and status and money.
Money, absolutely.
But I'll
But
share this. I was playing Monopoly and I lost and got upset. And a young man I was playing with, he's 16, he said, Richard, he said, why do you take this so seriously? It's just pieces of paper that mean absolutely nothing. They've just got some numbers written on them. For some reason, you get upset about it and take it seriously. And I said, how is that different to real money? Like,
No, yeah. Yeah, it's very difficult. I did you see, my thinking around climate and so on is that we are looking in a way in the wrong direction, because climate is a consequence of something. And unless we turn the tap, all we are doing at this end is deal with the stuff that never stops coming, right? I have not yet found a company that has said, I'm going to decrease the production of food or of clothes or of drinks, which get thrown away, right? No company has put out an announcement of the sort. They all increase. They all want to increase sales. Now, if the tap is open at the same speed of delivery, no matter how much we recycle at this end, we are not going to catch up. And we are made responsible. And it's true, we need to exercise responsibility. But the fact is that we cannot handle the origin of the problem. So in my presentation, in fact, I looked at business models and I said, we need to change that. You know, we have problems. We are told, reduce your intake of meat. But no one is saying to the food manufacturer, stop producing this excess quantity.
Ramping up.
So this is the problem. And we keep looking at this side and we keep engaging individuals who actually have limited power. Whereas if any of these companies will turn down their output, things will go into balance. Or you redistribute the production to the countries that are starving, because we throw away food and other countries do not have food at all.
Vibhav, thank you so much. You have a very nice evening, late enough for you in India. Dina, you know, I mean, I'm sure other people have better opinions on this than me, but you look at Zara, H&M, right? Big fashion retailers here.
Yeah.
I need to check my numbers, but there's something like 4% profit. You know, 96% of every pound is not going to them. It's going to somewhere else. And then H&M's getting better, but a ton of clothes then go in the incinerator at the end of it. That's nuts. Make more money and sell less, right?
Listen, did you know I worked in the fashion industry in my business life. I've done a number of things. I did not know that the second biggest polluter after the oil industry is the fashion industry.
Yes.
Would you believe something like that?
Yes.
It's shocking, but people do not. And the other thing that they are doing now, because I'm quite close to this industry simply because I know it inside out and I'm curious, they are now putting out in the market what they call, for instance, sustainable cotton and this and the other. Now, you use about 70 liters of water just to produce a pair of jeans. And what they are saying now is, oh, I am only using 50 liters of water for the pair of jeans. And my question is, so what have you solved? And you put it in the market to the consumer by saying this is a sustainable garment. All you've done is you've reduced a little bit the consumption, but it's still astronomical. And the tons that are, and on all the mentoring channels and so on in the fashion industry, I have never heard any brand or any company to say, I'm going to manufacture fewer garments. No one is doing that. Everyone is saying, I'm going to increase production. So
I think
that's the problem.
I think the closest one is Patagonia. It's about the closest one
They're
to
magnificent.
limiting.
They give away all their IP
Patagonia
as
is the
well.
only clothing manufacturer that limits the amount it produces and recycles too, which is also something that other companies are not doing. But that's the only one I can think of.
Yeah, and the Aral Sea, which in my childhood existed as a sea, has been completely depleted of water because of all the cotton fields and all the water that is used in the area for the natural fiber. So it is just unbelievable. But my point is, because I've also, I'm an auditor and so on, I look for the root cause analysis, as they are called. And for me, as long as we do not deal with the source of the problem and we kind to band-aid and make individuals, guilty because they have a steak yesterday and you are not. No, none of the billionaires have refrained from having steaks or, catching a flight to go from A to B to have lunch in New York, flying from Los Angeles. And I mean, it's the difference is enormous, and the source is there, and that's the source of power and the source of problem, but also where the capital goes. These people are trillionaires. How do you fight that power?
Yeah, I just realized I'm subconsciously showing my bamboo pen as well. So. Divya, jump in. We're waiting for a gap that's not coming. So
no, I was not waiting for a gap. I actually wanted to comment on your bamboo t-shirt. There are people who are now converting all the waste plastic in clothing and everything. So I think we should try that as well. Probably that will save our climate a little bit. As I told you earlier also that I am a little more crazy than usual for all these causes. I'll go ahead and find something which always adds on to maybe environment or maybe women empowerment or whatever. But then today's session was amazing. I just couldn't leave. I wanted to leave. I had my dinner time. I couldn't leave. I just enjoyed it. I was sitting here taking notes. I enjoyed it. And Alexandra, thank you so much for such beautiful write-ups. The blogs which you do, amazing. I enjoy reading them, and then I enjoy sharing it without fear that you may tell me that they were now stopping. So
you should
like
write
I do
one.
it like it's my own. So I keep on doing it.
Let's write one together.
Yes.
And again, I'll say about my spirituality part of AI, even if you call me AI hippie again, it doesn't matter.
Just one final thought, Divya. I bought bamboo boxer shorts and I do not recommend them.
No, I told Karen about it, that I'm crazy about talking about spirituality. I don't care even if you get angry or ask me, Divya, now, no, stop.
Let's write a spirituality and AI blog, Divya. We're already doing poems. We've already admitted that we're hippies.
No, I'm writing. I'm planning on doing that and sharing it with you. Even if you don't want, you'll have to share it with the whole world.
Please.
Divya, I'll give you the password for the website.
I'll say that I will not post it. What I'll do, I'll post it with MKAI community LinkedIn. That's it. Done.
I'll be delighted to read it.
So sweet.
I want so much.
I want to see that.
You gave me energy and you gave me that power that you can say it out loud. So I said it. Now it's done.
That's so important, Divya.
Yeah, Devi, I would love to see one on the environment and women, the two things that you just connected, and especially from the Indian viewpoint. That'd be so powerful and deep.
Hopefully, I'll definitely try to do that. I keep on trying to connect all these dots between I recently was trying to understand how IoT is helping gender equality. And then I'm trying to collect a lot of data in India so that I can write it in a proper manner. I should not be superficial when I'm writing it, at least have some good sample size. But then issues are very grim and they are not going to be resolved, I don't think, even in 100 years, whatever. Like everyone is saying that everyone has so much money and we don't have. That frankly is not the reality. Problem is not the money. Problem is the passion which is missing, and people do not want to make it a movement just to go ahead and fight. Like we had that independence movement here, so that is not happening. And until these people are ready to fight for a cause, no money can help it. That's my bit. I'm sorry. That's my way of understanding.
Oh, dear, I love hearing from you. Say some more in a minute. Karen, just say something about women in AI, because this is the perfect time to bring it up, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm thinking about that. Charu said that, and Divya will be there. We are discussing lots of things about this event. So this is the official kickoff of the Women in MKAI event that will occur in August 12th. And I hope to see every women there, and for the men here, hope to see your companions maybe, or your sisters or your mothers. Everyone is welcome. And well, hope to see you all there. We will be talking about how women deal with all these bias, and Divya will be there as well, talking about all this gender balance that we are trying to reach. And well, everyone is really welcome. Every woman will be really welcome to join us. I'm happy and I'm excited to announce that. And I hope to see you all there.
And you've been working with Henley Business School on it, I think, haven't you, as well?
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
I think we'll make it Power Women MKAI.
Power Women in MKAI.
Or maybe Super Women, I don't know. Whatever you come up with, it's just a crazy idea. It keeps on popping in my head, so I shared it.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, we will keep you posted on our LinkedIn and on our website as well. So we will keep you posted. Hope to see you all there.
Yeah. I see Frank's in the studio. It's amazing.
I'm a sound engineer. Yeah, I have these things like for more than 20 years. Yeah, so no, it's not a studio. That's my usual setup. I'm just a combination of a lot of things. So I'm still processing all of this, and this is like my 4th session here, and I could add to so much. I'm working at a chair for sustainability. I'm here in Germany, and I could add to the AI discussion as well as to the environmental stuff. So I would suggest you do a talk about the resources that AI use. So that could be the gap between the environmental thing and AI. So that's just 5 cents.
Oh, that's
5 seconds.
So Vibhab doesn't let me share direct links to our focus groups. He says everybody has to join at the top, and then he works with them from there, but he's not here. So
He absconded.
So while the cat's away. So that's our AI group for Geo, and we have regular meetings, and Frank and others. Please come and join that. I really believe we can do something special. There's about 40 people in that group now, and I feel something's coming out of that, something important.
I have not joined anything of that. I have so much to do. I'm getting the emails from MKAI now, and I joined the 4th time. I started with the Kai because I know the Kai Wu from the Hong Kong University. I know him from Clubhouse, and he's brilliant, very and I'm very close with him for the last couple of months. And now this is the 4th time I'm here, and that's all I can do. So much. I'm working on a paper on mediation and environment, and so I have to see what I can do. So that's why I'm not speaking up, because there's so much to add and somebody has to do it.
You're doing great, Frank. It's the way to do it.
Mediation and AI is an amazing topic. I was reading a lot because a lot of material is there on Hague Academy, and it's awesome. People keep on posting in such beautiful papers. Wow. It gives immense thought-provoking ideas how that can be implemented in other parts, like maybe again I would say gender equality and maybe environment everywhere, because now I have recently started researching on IP arbitration. That also has helped me understand how AI can help in that. So it's like us in artificial form. That's it. For me,
I would just let me just make a brief. I have a long biography, but I was born in the GDR, and we were surveilled And that's something that that I always have in my mind. And then I was an entrepreneur, and actually I tried to do an MP3 store before Apple. Right, so
Wow.
I'm a sound engineer, and I tried to do it, and we didn't get the money. And for that, I started to study economics. From there, I went to political science. From there, I went to sociology. And now I'm in psychology and environmental psychology. And now I'm back at computers and technology with AI, because some people tell me, well, the efficiency thing that Adina referred to, so like this something that companies do for like 60 years, 70 years, they try to sell more efficiency so they can work on as sustainability. But it's really reversing the arguments. And some people come to me, and when I'm looking at the bioeconomy and biotechnology, then they say something like, oh, we have now the beautiful drones where we can look at agro-technology, and we can look at the fields, and then we can be like the bees, or we can watch whatever happens to the plants. And I have to look into that, because that is a valid argument, and that's why I'm looking into AI now. So I have gone the other way around. And when I listen to this talk, it's like I process it the other way around. You are like, we have to go from here and look into the environment, and I'm coming the other way around. So yeah, but there's so much to talk about, and what I like is that you guys are regular, that you are doing this continuously, and that you have an amazing audience. And really, this panel today, it's absolutely crucial to have these critical voices. And Virginia, and what was the other guy? They're so amazing. That's you need those people who have a critical saying. If you have someone who's just clapping and selling something with beautiful words, that doesn't help at all. You need the critical voices, and you're doing great at that. So I'm done.
Yeah, we're big fans of capitalism. That's probably why we're not rich, but we're independent, and that's worth every penny.
Frank, this is for you. Seriously, man. Awesome. Amazing profile.
Is that your profile, Frank, the one that I just put up in the chat on LinkedIn?
What?
I took the liberty of just checking that's you, because we're not. I don't believe we're connected. So
I have to
given it's got a
role. Yes, that's me. That's me, and we are connected. I have added you.
Oh, you are.
A couple of months
ago.
That
said second, and it just went to first. My eyes are playing tricks.
Just look at your own LinkedIn. It must say you can message me or something.
No,
like
it does.
That.
It says first now, but that is we're like switched in front of my. I'm sure that's the second. Anyway,
first, that's really amazing, because there are so many front rollers in Germany. But anyway. So
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I'll get in touch about this event.
I haven't put my whole biography there. That's
how to connect with you. I can't find any. I don't know how to send you a request also.
Yeah, probably because I've added you or something. I
but
don't know.
Now environmental psychology is stuck here, so it will not go anywhere. I'll keep that in mind. It's amazing. Awesome.
There's a good book, an old book where you can start with. It's from Daniel Bell, and it's called Environmental Psychology. I think it's 30 or 40 years old, and it's a very good start. And it came from something like architecture and land architecture, and then it looks at how much space do we need. So it's the psychology. It's not ecology. So if you want to look at ecology, you have to start somewhere else.
Do you think AI and environmental psychology could be an event that we host?
Sure, you can do. They're amazing people. There's a professor on my university, but she's the people who are in this field, they really have lots to do. The professor is in the advisory board for the government, and they almost never have time. They don't know you. So I'm the fourth
strangers
time
are just
here,
friends that we haven't met yet.
Yes.
Oh, you're
absolutely.
It is something I think it is important. So I would have to say yes, but the obvious part is if I would be up for that, and I don't know if I have time for that. So
I don't want to take you off your work, Frank, of course.
But you have to. But really, it's important, and there are people who do that, and if not, then look for psychologists and environmental mediators or lawyers that are in the environmental field, and put something together where you get at the same intersection. I would say that's probably even better if you take people from I'm looking also at science theory and how transdisciplinary and interdisciplinarity work. And what I see is that people stick to the systems that they are in. So if you approach them with people from other systems, it's always that experience of others. So they need someone who represents them. That's psychology now. So if you put together people from the disciplines that you have and try to approach that field, you get the best result anyway, because that is a learning experience where you have kind of a workshop where you work towards that. And yeah, that's something I would suggest.
Thank you.
Divya, you don't have your mic open. I see your lips
Oh,
moving.
I'm sorry. I forgot my question. Extremely sorry. Actually, when Richard said about AI and environment psychology, I just was in that phase that I have to understand how that will work, because reading a book doesn't resolve unless you talk to a person who is equally passionate as you are talking about it. Passion shows, when you're talking about it. Environment psychology is going to affect a lot. Like I talk about cyber psychology a lot of times. That is a separate thing, but then environmental psychology, making it understand and maybe reaching out to as many people as possible, I think that may resolve a little bit of an issue, because once I remember when I was reading more about it, I realized that people never talk about a number of women or percentage of women involved in enhancing agriculture or environment in itself. So they do invest a lot of energy, a lot of time in fields as well, which I have seen in India, which I have read about Brazil as well. But they are somehow they are
Nepal,
not taken into
I've
account.
been to Nepal.
Sorry?
I've been to Nepal looking for disaster risk management, so I know what you're talking about.
Exactly. But I don't know why I couldn't find any papers which were actually exclusively talking about the involvement of women in that. I really have no idea. I would love to see somebody write about it, that women are contributing, like maybe even 50% would do. It would help me have some good night's sleep, maybe, because they are the ones who are contributing to the environment. They are the ones who are taking care of their houses. They are the ones who are taking care of the garbage, everything around. So I am pretty sure they are.
Yeah. Women really are crucial for everything related to future, and we can see it with the microfinances that are taking place in a lot of so-called developing countries, or whatever you want to call them. So when we look at that, the banks give the money to the women, and so you don't have to say much more. Those are the banks, nobody else. So it's not someone that you're close to, it's the banks.
And I would add to that something interesting, which is that I didn't realize that, in fact, every single aspect, I was looking at the 15 global challenges and, the list of problems. And I didn't realize that every single problem on this planet, in fact, hits women first. Whether you look at exploitation, whether you look at droughts, whether you look at environment, as you said, agriculture, poverty, etc. Why? Because I realized they run the household. In many cultures, they are the people who, make the food, gather the wood, work the land, etc., etc. And so everything that doesn't work impacts women first and more than men. And that is quite extraordinary. I never realized that. Lack of water, women are the ones who carry the water. I mean, every single problem that the planet has got, education, for instance, women are not allowed to have an education in certain culture. Every single thing impacts the women more than the men.
I agree 95% with you, 95% because of you're talking about the two main genders. Because if you're taking into account the whole spectrum, then there are others that are even more impacted. So just, but yeah, if we're talking about just men and women, you're absolutely right. And men have to change. And I'm advocating for it for like more than 5 years now. I'm trying to do that. I'm not like making a big issue out of that, because that is part of that. You cannot go there and oh, I'm now doing this and that, and I'm still a man. But I agree with you if you're talking about the two main genders and the most of the popularity population. Yeah.
For what it's worth, I mean, women have to help men change as well, right? I mean, so long as we're told that
no, Richard.
Frank, if we're told that status and money is what we need to be successful and worthy of a mate, then of course we're going to keep chasing that. Men are killing
that is the narrative
so
of the
hard.
last 30 or 40 years, where men have said, well, or they. I think we as men, we can't say that. If women say that, yes, okay. If they say we can help men too, but that's their thing. We cannot say that. So we have to look at what can we do. So that's why I disagree. Probably in general, in an abstract way, you are right, but I would not
speaking for women, of course. I'm just saying we've all got to let each other off, you know, the pressure of this stuff a lot. I think how many men are committing suicide and can't talk about their feelings, and you know, it's not a bed of roses being a man, right? It's enormous pressure to stay in this old economy, to feel worthy, to feel like you are something.
So you have the next topic, emotions and the impact of AI on emotions, but because yeah, you have to talk about the human sides all the time. And Adina, I loved when you said earlier, so like half an hour ago, something like that, that it's not about the technology, and technology isn't the problem. It's the humans behind that, and the emotional impact of all of that will trigger a lot more avoidance and more of what we know. So that's really something we have to look into. So if you take some clinical psychologists and look into the intersection of emotion and the impact of AI on workplaces, that's also very important a topic. And I think, as I see it this year, it could really hit home with an audience.
Frank, I'm not sure what do you refer when you talk about emotions and artificial intelligence? Are you talking about the mechanism of reading expressions? Are you talking about the recruitment processes in business? Are you talking?
I'm not referring to anything special. Those are aspects that are important. So we could have a talk right now about which aspects. So those three,
okay.
But that is an intersection is really important, and you come up with three things just in a second, and we can come up with other stuff in the next 5 seconds.
You know why? Because I am a psychologist, and I also know a lot of neuroscience. I'm a polymath, so I am a cross-disciplinary brain wired. So I move from one thing to another, and
that's why you're still here.
Although I'm starving, I need to eat. But, you know, I was thinking about neuroscience on the one hand. I was thinking about psychology. I was thinking about the recruitment processes and the way they have introduced biometric surveillance in recruitment and the whole catastrophic ethical problem that draws. I am looking about the surveillance in organizational performance, individual and the team, and the way that data is used by management. I mean, it's endless.
Just think of Amazon. Just think of Amazon.
I absolutely. So this is why I'm saying that, that's the, you know, there is a full range of implications there, but I just wanted to clarify that we are talking about the same thing in your suggestion. Yeah.
So I didn't mean to speak up, Richard. You called me out, so I took 5 seconds and
Frank. He tricked you.
I lured you in, Frank, to share some things.
I was the last person, I think, who had not spoken up.
Thank you so much, Frank. Well, our numbers were going down, and they went up again, and Nima joins.
Yeah. But I think that I will respectfully bail out.
Dina, go.
Something and eat a
Me
little
too.
bit.
It's more than like midnight, you know. Bye-bye. Good night.
Oh,
Good night.
okay then.
Bye.
Bye. See you next time, everyone. Hopefully.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
DNP, Dr. Nima Pasha, who was in The Guardian this week.
Thanks, Richard, for inviting me on. This is the after party I've joined.
No, this is the after party.
The after party. Nice to
the
see
pre-party for the next session.
Pre-party.
For next sessions, we have a lot of topics around here.
If we keep going, we're actually going to flow directly into next month's forum without a pause, you see.
So cool. Did you have a good day? Was it a good sesh?
I think it was a wonderful session, yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I missed
How
it.
are you?
Good. It's great to see everybody here. I'm so sorry I missed all the juicy bit, but I got a bit of the thing that Frank was talking about, so that was great, Frank.
It has nothing to do with what has been said in the session, which was really great. And I don't know about any recordings, Richard. I have no idea if you have the opportunity to hear that. I really do. It was a great session. Nothing I talked about.
Thank you so much. Frank's been sharing since. Amazing stuff he's doing.
This is a place to fix the world. These are the conversations of fixing the world.
If you're still here in hour 6 of MKAI, then you really want to fix the world. You know?
That's brilliant.
Nima, say something about your amazing success, about being featured in the Governor of the Bank of England's report.
No, that's very kind of you. And Karen, thank you so much for I heard you had a great meeting today as well. And talking about inclusivity and so on in MKAI. So that sounds wonderful work that you do. Nice to meet you, Alex, as well. I read your blog post. It was really good. And yeah, hi to everybody else. So I wrote a report that came out last month on race equity in the workplace, and the Governor of the Bank of England cited it today, and it went into the Guardian. And I told Richard because I was so excited. So it was like really, really bursting with excitement.
There was a lot of emojis in that message.
There were many
more emojis than I thought there were, to be honest.
many emojis.
I'm only teasing.
Yeah, so that was good. So yeah, so he said it's going to be part of the new strategy of the Bank of England, and it's been picked up by several major organisations, news organisations. So I'm really pleased.
That's amazing. Many moons ago, you were in our WhatsApp group, weren't you?
Yeah, you all WhatsApping in the WhatsApp group.
We have good vibes.
It was obviously because I'm really pleased. I mean, it's incredible. So as background, some of you might not. So I met Richard about a year and a bit ago at Henley Business School where I work. Richard came to see me twice, I think, and at Henley, and learned everything about everything you're seeing now. So it's all, down to the work that he did some amazing things. And so just to see Richard's and MKAI and all the other work, just to see the development and growth over this last 15 months has been incredible. So congratulations, Richard, on all you've achieved, and
been soaring
the team
yourself.
and the work.
Yes, thank you for that. Just take one day at a time, and when you look back, you think, oh, I've come quite far.
Yeah, no, you've done really well.
And thank you for supporting our Women in MKAI initiative with your team and your resources.
Thank you so much for introducing us to Maddie as well. She's wonderful. She was really, really helpful. She's great. And we just announced on this after party our Women in MKAI event.
Oh,
and
great.
Yeah, I would love you to be there, to join us if you feel like. It would be wonderful. Thank you so much for all your support and
Karen, it's a
your time and everything. Thank you.
We're really happy. And I meant to say also what I do is I've set up the World of Work, which is how I got to know Richard, looking at the future of work and impact of not just AI automation, but looking at the impact of what's going to happen through COVID, 4-day week, side hustling, race equity, and we're looking at the skills that are needed with climate, a whole bunch of stuff around what the world is reshaping and what work looks like. That's what I should have done. I should have said that at the beginning instead of just arriving.
Did anything get better?
Is anything going to get better, Frank? Yeah.
Good to hear. What in which dimension?
So I think things are, you know, you have cycles for everything, but what we're looking at is equity at the moment. We're really doing a lot of focus on equity, and there's a big growth in equity in organizations. Of course, if we measure where we have to go, it will look like a whole bunch of stuff hasn't happened. But if we look at what has been achieved over the last 10, 15, 20 years, and even in this last year in organizations, we've really moved forward, and it's on gender equity and ethnicity, you know, and other kind of disability, a whole range of things. So I think we've really improved across many sectors, and there's a willingness for people wanting to do more as well. We see that a lot more.
That's really good to hear. I'm advocating, as I said before you joined, I'm advocating for that. So I'm really looking forward for more gender equality.
Yeah, it's because our research is so strong on the high levels of equality and equity in workplaces. You're going to have much better output, revenue output, and the research is really, really strong on that. So, yeah.
I can say that I'm working at a chair for sustainability, and I can just endorse that message.
Good. Glad to hear it. That's fantastic. That's good. I feel I've crashed your after party. I think I should leave you to get the party poppers out and champagne.
This might be the time for us to say thank you, I think. What do you think, Anna? Yeah, I feel like the energy is just changing towards that. We've been recording the whole time. Do you want me to keep this in, or do you want me to take this out?
Just keep it
in. All in.
Yeah.
All in.
You should probably review it. You should do a peer review and then just take out what is really interesting.
Well, no, we do. We cut sections out, but I think I'm gonna put this one up. They're becoming more connected, these sessions anyway. Not particularly our after chat, but the main 2 hours are becoming something that I think you could benefit from watching it through rather than just picking out the talks. I think anyway. But no, Nima, thank you for.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for inviting me. I'm sorry I missed the earlier part. I'll watch you all on catch up. Well, not on catch up. You're not on iPlayer, but pretty much on iPlayer. I'll watch you.
No, we're on itv.com, I think.
I'll watch
thank you for everything that you support for us as well. You make a lot possible that people don't know about. So thank you for that.
Oh, that's nice. Thank you. I feel embarrassed now.
Although Nima doesn't let me say thank you.
No, I don't. I'm going on mute. No more.
If I say thank you, she just does. Honestly, what do you say? All right.
Thank you.
Love you all.
Thank you. Thank
Good
you.
night.
Thank you.
Thank you for fixing the world.
We can but try.
Lots of love. Bye.
Lots of love. See you, folks.
Take care.
One action, one
Okay.
word at a time.
One day at a time, one person at a time. See ya.
See you.
Bye.